Okay, so the cash book. What you see here is an empty layout of a very simple cash book. So I'll first get into explaining uh, the layout of the cash book and what all of this means. So when you start with your cash book, you're first supposed to draw this line running on top, and then you draw a line down the middle. Then afterwards, you'll see that you add one, two, three, four lines. So you add these four lines afterwards. And something that Mr. Avarab hardly does, or and that I prefer to do, and I would advise all of you to do it as well, is to add these columns with the little words in it. So, the reason for this is when you have all of your transactions, it will help you to know where you add in your things. So you see it's labeled date, details, bank, date, details, bank. So if your date is, for example, the first, then you'll enter in the first. If it's your balance that you bring down, then you write in balance and then your amount. So there's just the standard layout. And then, of course, on top, you write the what type of cash book it is, because again we have the business cash books and we have the trust cash books, but I'm just saying a cash book of myself for the month of September 2022. What's also important is that you write your debit and your credit here. You don't necessarily get marks for it, but it's always important in accounting to always label which side is your debit and which side is your credit, because some people could write the credit on the left hand side, but it wouldn't make sense. So it's always beneficial to just write debit and credit for your own sake. But the important thing to note in the cash book is the cash book records the flow of money. So any money that you receive in your cash book, you enter on the debit side, and any money that you send out or that you use in the operation of the business, you write in the credit side. For example, if you had sales, you would then, which is an income, you would have your sales on the debit side, followed by the amount. If you, however, had an expense, let's say, for example, something like rent expenses or rent paid, then you would have your rent paid on this side. This is not to be confused with your general principles of debit and credit when it comes to things such as incomes and expenses. The sole purpose of your cash book is to record the flow of money, meaning all money that comes in and all money that goes out of the business. So you won't add things such as your vehicles or your creditors or your debtors. Okay, the debtors and the creditors you add in certain instances, but I will explain that when I do a practical example of this. But it's just important to note that on this side, all of your money received come, and then on this side is all of the money that you have expended, so money paid on this side. And that's basically what your cash book is. In another video, I will just show an example of transactions that we may receive and how we record them. So again, one last thing: incomes and your expenses. That's it. Money received, money paid. That's the gist. If you remember these two rules, you can basically do your cash book.